Sometimes I think you just have to take the first baby step toward your dream in order to get anywhere. Without that first step, how are you going to take the second step or the third step or find the direction that you're supposed to go in? So I am about to take a very small baby step toward one of my sort of big dreams. I had a long time dream, a repetitive dream, literal dream, not just, me thinking about things, but me going to sleep and dreaming about this place, of being in an orphanage in Mexico or some other similar South American country, in a village, painting the walls of that orphanage to bring some joy to the children in that orphanage. That when I start to have it, I also kind of am conscious and saying, oh, I'm in that dream again. Here I am. Now, I've never really been to Mexico. That's not entirely true. I crossed the border one day for lunch when I was in Texas. But, so I don't have any understanding of why that dream shows up in my life, but I do know that something influences me beyond that dream toward feeling at home or familiar with the lifestyle there, and to the point where I'm like overly attracted to adobe structures. For some reason I put like little village scenes and I'll show you. They just show up in my art all the time. But I know from my life experience that it's not all that important for me to know exactly where I'm going. It is important to have a direction or a desire to head toward. I may be guided to, move off that particular path onto another path along the way. But the most important thing is for me to take the first step toward that dream. For instance, when I started this YouTube channel, I thought about it during the pandemic. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I learned how to pour paint without pouring paint. I just watched all the wonderful artists who pour paint. And I thought to myself, I could do that and I could have a YouTube channel about pouring paint and doing other kinds of art. And I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. I mentioned it to a few friends. That isn't always, I mentioned that dream to a few people, and that isn't always a really good move, because what I got back from that mentioning was, most people who start a YouTube channel fail, or it's really hard to do YouTube videos, or you have to know a lot about editing and you have to know a lot about filming, and whatever you do, you don't want to make a bad YouTube video. You have to learn how to do them good before you ever post, or people will tune out and never tune back in, and your chance will be lost to be a YouTube creator. I'm not really even exaggerating. Those things were said to me in some way or another. So they almost worked. I almost didn't do it. But the dream persisted, and I continued to think about it. And then the second saboteur were my own fears, which always show up when I'm about to embark on something new. I had a lot of self-doubt. Could I even do it? I didn't have the means to do it. I didn't have the equipment to do it. I didn't have the money to buy the equipment to do it. I didn't have the knowledge. I would be embarrassed if I did it and I didn't do it very well. I would be embarrassed if I did it and it failed, whatever failure was. I hadn't even identified that. And so on and so on and so on. So that almost worked. And then one day I was at my studio, and I don't know exactly what prompted me to do this, but I decided I was just gonna make a video. Bad, good, and different. I was gonna see what the process was like, see if I liked it, throw it away if I didn't. I wasn't even sure I was gonna post it. I just was going to make a video. So I sat out in the hallway here. I'll post a link to this in case anyone wants to see how terribly executed that first video was, or you could just ignore that part of my experience. I sat out in the hallway here and I just, first I set up 2 cameras. They were clipped to light poles, or lamps, floor lamps, because I didn't have tripods or anything. And the lighting was terrible, and I sat in front of them and I started talking. Excuse me. And I started talking. And in the middle of my talking, one of the cameras shut off. So when I eventually got around to looking at what I had filmed, most of the time I was talking to a camera over there that did not exist. So I had this like really strange profile experience of me talking to no one. Now, I got this very long video. I got the story out of me that I wanted to tell. And the next step was to figuring out how to edit it. And I had a little bit of experience with editing and iMovie, but not much. And it took me quite a while to sort of figure out how to import this and how to, make a few changes so I could eliminate some things. And I didn't do very much editing. It took way too long. I sort of got this video done. And I even had less experience about how to get it from done to YouTube. And I had to figure that out. So it took, maybe another couple of hours. And all the while my brain is going, oh, this is just way too much work. I don't think I'll be able to do this. And yet I persisted. This was my first step and I took it. I got the video completed. I got a YouTube channel activated, and I got the video ready to upload. I got it uploaded, and then I pushed the button, publish. That was my first step. I told a few friends that I had a YouTube channel, and my friends all, thank you, subscribed. And so for a while I had about 20 subscribers, and I was delighted. I got to talk to those 20 people about anything I wanted to talk about, and they were such good friends that they listened to me and encouraged me. And then here we are several months later. I just looked and I have 800 subscribers, and I have learned that what you like to hear from me are my stories. You don't really mind if I don't tell them perfectly, and you prefer those stories to me painting and showing you how to paint, or showing you how to draw, or showing how I draw, not how you need to draw. You prefer the stories. That's not going to stop me from filming how-to videos or painting process videos, because I like to do that too. And part of this whole adventure is learning what I like to do, connecting with you, and having a dialogue between you about what you like to hear and what you might want to watch, and sort of shifting things around so that we're both getting what we need out of this. All right, so upcoming trip. So I was introduced by a friend via social media, who runs a nonprofit organization in Mexico, who at the time was painting with Mexican kids the Mexican side of the border wall. Wow, is that cool? And I took a chance and wrote to her to find out more about what she was doing, because it sort of rang a big bell for me, considering the dream that I keep having, although it wasn't an orphanage and whatever, but it didn't exactly fit, but it was enough of a sign that maybe I should go this way a little bit and see what happens. Anyway, I contacted her. She invited me to come down and paint with the kids, although they aren't painting the border wall now. They're painting in a studio Marapo. I'll never be able to say this. I'll put it up there. But I had to hurry to make this decision or wait until next fall because they close for the summer. And I've had enough history with things popping up in my life indicating that maybe I need to go in this direction, or maybe compelling me or inviting me into a certain direction, to know that it's probably a good idea for me to pay attention to those signs. And so I just said, yes, I'll come. Now, time is limited. Like I said, they're closing for the season soon. So I had to make a really quick decision and choose a date and get ready to go. Now, as soon as I did that, all the stuff that I do in my head came up, like, oh, how can you do that? You don't really have the means to do this right now. You don't have the time to do this right now. It's going to be scary. Think, think losing your passport and getting stuck in a Mexican jail, sort of scary. That's how imaginative my brain can be. It's not an orphanage. It doesn't really fit your dream, blah, 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 blah. I'm going anyway. Now, I can only go across the border with this person for one day and paint. And if I listen to some other people about this, that's a ridiculous amount of resources to use up to go paint for a day in Mexico. I'm not listening to them either. But I did listen to myself along that way, and I made the trip a whole week. And I'm most of the time I'm going to be in a kind of artist retreat hotel where I might be the only guest, because I don't think there are any other artists there, in Douglas, Arizona, at the Art Car Museum. So I will be there for a week. I will cross the border for one day and paint at the studio. And I'm leaving the rest of that time, as best I can, open to fate. I'm taking my sketchbook and some art supplies, and I'm gonna see what happens. And I suspect that some of this will end up being in my sketchbook and in my videos, and I can share it with you. I can't, at this point, paint on the walls of an orphanage and help bring joy to kids in Mexico, but I can contribute to this nonprofit in some way so that they can continue to help kids in Mexico paint. So it's not exactly the dream, but I am going to try to take, if just my own donation, but perhaps some of you would like to donate to this cause too. I'm going to try to take a modest donation to the director of this program so she can buy some more art supplies to continue on with her mission there. If you would like to contribute to that, a small amount or a large amount, I have a website, www.vandoodleart.com, and if you go to the shop on that website, there is a item that you can purchase, which is a donation. I think I set it up for like $10. Any amount would help. You could purchase like $5, $10 donation things for a $50 donation, etc., etc. Anyway, It's not necessary that anybody do this for this trip, but it would be a really cool bonus to be able to hand her a gift from us, from me, from us, to help her continue on with her passion and to help those kids paint. So I have less than 2 weeks before I take off. I have a little bit of getting ready to do. And I am excited about taking another baby step toward another dream and just seeing what happens. I'll be sure and let you know here what does happen. Thanks for watching. Oh, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.